After premiering in 1990, Wings became known as one of the best sitcoms of the 90s. It features some amazing talents, and in today's video, we'll go in-depth and take a look at what the cast is up to now. Come along on this nostalgic journey as Facts First presents Wings Cast Then and Now. Tim Daly. Tim Daly, a 66-year-old actor, played Joe Hackett, a youthful pilot pursuing his ambition of owning and operating Sandpiper Airlines. Joe is extremely committed to his line of work. As a result, he comes across stiff to those closest to him, although he enjoys going out with his brother and getting in on the latter's antics. Daly had an appearance in every one of the show's 172 episodes, but he also had time to act in movies. He had a career in theater before being cast on the show. His breakthrough performance came in the 1982 classic Diner. After Wings ended, Daly voiced the Man of Steel in various films and TV shows, including Justice League Doom and Superman the Animated Series. He also had guest starring appearances in 4 episodes of HBO's The Sopranos and an episode of Grey's Anatomy. He was cast as Dr. Pete Wilder and subsequently became a series regular on the Grey's Anatomy spin-off Private Practice. On the show Madam Secretary, starring Téa Leoni, Daly portrayed the character Henry McCord from 2014 to 2019. When Leoni's character became the first female president at the end of season 6, his character was promoted to the position of first gentleman. Daly and Leoni began dating in real life in 2014 and have been together ever since. Steven Weber. This 61-year-old actor started out in the industry doing commercials as a kid. He later played the lover of Julianne Moore on the soap opera As the World Turns, and appeared in films like The Flamingo Kid before winning the role of the light-hearted pilot Brian Hackett on Wings. Brian, as opposed to his older brother Joe, is much more chill and cares more about having fun than getting things done, yet is capable of being serious when the situation demands it. Following the success of Wings, Weber moved on to create his own series called Cursed, which lasted only a season. He starred in the hit film Single White Female, in the classic horror The Shining, which was adapted for television. With Tom Stoppard's The Real Thing in 2001, Weber made his Broadway debut. In 2006, he had appearances on Monk, starring his longtime Wings co-star Tony Shalhoub, and Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. Similar to Tim Daly, Weber has voiced multiple characters in a superhero show, in this case, 2012 to 2017's The Ultimate Spider-Man. He also co-starred on the short-lived but critically acclaimed series Indebted with Fran Drescher in 2020. Crystal Bernard. Helen Chappel, played by Crystal Bernard, is a spunky wannabe cellist who works at the airport's Tom Nevers Field lunch counter. She's an opinionated, savvy friend of Joe and Brian who can handle any situation with the brothers. The 61-year-old actress, now known as Helen Chappel Hackett, grew up in Texas with a very conservative family and sang gospel music with them. She started in the theater and eventually made it to TV with roles on shows like Happy Days. In the years following her departure from the role of Helen, she pursued a career in theater and released 2 country and gospel albums and a few singles. Although she's been in a few films and TV shows since then, such as a couple of Hallmark Christmas specials and an episode of According to Jim, she's not been active in the industry. It seems Bernard has left the entertainment industry for good. Her most recent appearance was in 2008. Thomas Haden Church. Even though he was born Thomas McMillan, the actor went by Thomas Quesada throughout his formative years and later legally changed his name to Haden Church. He was a radio host before he was cast as the fumbling airport technician Lowell Mather on Wings. Mather is a humble and caring mechanic who has kept the planes in the air despite his lack of intelligence. Following his departure from Wings, Church starred in his spin-off series Ned and Stacy with Deborah Messing. And while that only ran for 2 seasons, Church has had a lot of success in the movies. He's been nominated for an Academy Award for his portrayal of Jack Cole in Sideways, and also played Lyle Vandegroot in George of the Jungle. He entered the field of comic book adaptations much like Tim Daly and Steven Weber. In a live-action remake, he played the Sandman, one of 3 antagonists in Spider-Man 3, who opposed Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker. Church lent his voice to the movie's video game as well. The actor is a rancher who lives in Texas with his daughter, Cody Haden Church, and his fiancée. David Schramm. The 73-year-old man assumed the role of Roy Biggins, an arrogant proprietor of Aeromass, which competed with Joe's airline company, Sandpiper. Throughout the show, Roy worked tirelessly to get Joe out of business. resorting to a variety of schemes and insulting his co-workers in the process. After Wings, he decided to go back to the theater instead of continuing on television. He made numerous stage appearances, including works such as The Beard of Avon, The Merry Wives of Windsor, Waiting for Godot, and others. In 2019, he concluded his acting career with the York Theatre Company's stage production of Enter Laughing, the musical, as Harrison Marlowe. Sadly, Schramm passed away after cardiac arrest in March of 2020. In Tim Daly's words, he was hilarious, trustworthy, and a lovely comedic actor. Rebecca Shull. Rebecca Shull portrayed Fay Cochran, a kind widow who works at the airport ticket desk. She's the airport's unofficial matriarch and a former flight attendant. She encountered Joe while en route to Hawaii on her final trip. A fast friendship developed between them, and through her assistance, Joe launched Sandpiper Air. Shull maintained her acting career after Wings ended. Her acting credits include episodes of Frasier, Law & Order: Criminal Intent, and Damages, as well as the films Analyze This and Analyze That. From 2011 to 2013, she also appeared regularly in Suits as Edith Ross, Patrick Adams' character's grandmother. Although she is quite elderly, Shull is nevertheless quite busy. Her most recent performance was as Claire in The Last, a film that chronicles 4 generations of a Jewish family. Tony Shalhoub. After making guest appearances on a number of series and films for television, Tony finally got his big break when he was cast in Wings. He played Antonio Scarpacci, an Italian immigrant who runs the airport taxi service. Antonio's profound loathing for Roy seems to eclipse all the other characters' feelings against Roy, and he is notoriously loveless. In the time since the end of Wings, Shalhoub has been a fixture on the small screen. His role as the title character in the hit series Monk has brought him widespread recognition. Shalhoub received 8 Emmy nominations and 3 wins for his role as the obsessive-compulsive detective. He has also been in the films Men in Black, Gattaca, Galaxy Quest, Rosie, and Pain and Gain. Shalhoub presently plays Midge Maisel's father, Abe Weissman, on the critically acclaimed Amazon Prime comedy The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. In 2019, he won his 4th Emmy for this role. Amy Yasbeck. The 6th season of Wings saw the introduction of Amy Yasbeck playing Helen's older sister Casey. Yasbeck is best recognized for her role as Peggy Brandt in The Mask. Having left Nob Hill and her wealthy husband for Nantucket, Casey finds life difficult and laments her loss of the good things. Yasbeck remained on Wings until its last episode, after which she moved on to other jobs. In 1997, she gave her utmost to revive a sitcom called All Right Already, but the show was canceled after 1 season. Her latest acting role was as Claudia on an episode of Pretty Little Liars in 2016. But the greatest tragedy of Yasbeck's life was the 2003 passing of her husband, John Ritter. Yasbeck sued the hospital where he was treated for wrongful death, but the hospital was found blameless. As evidenced in her 2008 interview on Larry King Live, Yasbeck has not been shy about discussing cardiac illness and the death of her spouse. Farrah Forke. Farrah Forke made her acting debut on Wings as Alex Lambert, a fierce but feminine pilot who quickly wins the hearts of Joe and Brian. Forke's run on the show ended once Alex dissolved her relationship with Brian, but her character is frequently referenced. Forke had a recurring role as District Attorney Mason Drake on Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman, both before and after she left Wings. She only appeared in 4 episodes before her character was written off, a much shorter run than on Wings. Forke has been in a number of TV episodes and movies, most notably Thomas Haden Church's Ned and Stacy, as well as 2 unsuccessful sitcoms, Dweebs and Mr. Rhodes. She also provided the voice of Big Barda in the movies Batman Beyond and Justice League Unlimited. Now it's time to hear from you. Who's your favorite actor or actress from Wings, and why? Let us know in the comments section below.